And we're
Hi,
recording
everyone.
too. Hello.
Yes. Yay. It's always great when technology works on
Yeah.
command. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to Decoding Your Superpowers.
Uh-huh.
I'm Teresa Lisum, and this is my cohort friend, my partner in crime,
Right?
Linda Karchner. Thank you for being here,
Hello,
Karchner.
everyone.
Linda, it's always so fun. I just
It
love
is
doing
fun.
this. We
Yeah.
we we are both learners and we have high input. So
Yes.
in intellection, we love all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yes. And we love to share it.
Yes, we do. And we're referring to our particular
Yes,
superpowers.
yes, we are.
So before we jump into today's report, I'd like to both of us, Linda, I'll let you start to
Okay.
just give us a quick overview or a quick um, reason or something that impacted you. Did I
Uh-huh.
say that right? Was
Yep. Yep.
impactful for you when you first learned your strengths.
The first thing that comes to mind is that okay, so I'm first of all a relationship builder, and secondly a strategic thinker. So with the relationship building piece, I did not see that as a strength. I saw that as a detriment. I saw
Hmm.
that as something that interfered with me being productive because I would rather spend time connecting with people that I click with. I'm not like a big party person, but people that I connect with, like I'm about the relationships
Hmm.
versus getting things done and being productive. And I get things done best in some sort of relationship. Like I've wanted to do something like this forever, but having you to partner with me, um, it was just that kick in the seat of the pants that I
Hmm.
needed and wanted. So, I like I said, I saw the my biggest strength as a detriment, as
Hmm.
something that would hold me back from being successful and getting things accomplished and things like that. And so when I learned about strengths and I was like, "Oh, wow, my cheering people on, my working through consensus, those are all good things."
Hmm.
Um, and I can see now how they have made me an effective leader. And I have gotten a lot done that other people in my position, and I'm thinking about like a volunteer position with our local playground as the president, like there were other people who were in that role and they didn't get as much done as I did. And they were more pushy,
Hmm.
executing kind of
Hmm.
people.
Oh,
So,
that's so cool. That's so
yeah,
interesting that what you thought was a detriment at
yeah,
first,
right.
keeping you from attaining certain things.
Yeah.
Once you had that awareness, that understanding, you realize, oh no, that's really an asset. And look
Uh-huh.
at you did get things done in that
Yeah.
particular project.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
go
And I
you.
I continue to do
And
that.
that's that revelation, that
Yeah.
awareness
Yes.
that is so helpful for us as well as for other people. You,
Yeah.
just shining a light on that and having another person to point it out to you, then you can take it and leverage it and run with it in
Mm-hmm.
whatever direction you want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a high relationship builder as
Yeah.
well. And I didn't really get that. Like I didn't know, like, yeah, I like people, okay, but
Right.
I
Yeah.
did till until I saw it spelled out and somebody explained it to me,
Mm-hmm.
our mentor explained it to me. Then I saw, yeah, that's powerful. And I
Right.
can, oh, okay. So I love to connect with people. They energize me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. So what do I do with that? Like you, I love collaborating. This
Right.
is fun for me. We found each other to partner with. If I
Right.
do this on my own, I can do it, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
as fun.
Yeah.
And we just amplify each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so that allows us to do more good for more people.
Yeah.
When we have multiple heads,
You're right.
working together. And so because I now understand that I'm a good collaborator and that's what I enjoy, that's what I start seeking out now. I look for collaborations with different types of people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you
yeah,
do really well with that.
I revel in that. And it's again, I never would have thought of it if I hadn't had the knowledge and the awareness of my superpowers.
Hmm.
So, and we just wanted to share that with
Yeah.
the audience because it's it might be a hard concept to understand. Like, yeah, why do you need to know your strengths or your
Right. Yeah.
superpowers?
Yeah, I know
Well,
myself,
yeah,
or
exactly.
yeah.
But this is just another level, another perspective. There's so much more that you can do once you know more about yourself.
Hmm.
So thank you. I'm sure we could
Yeah,
talk a lot
right.
more about what our knowledge of strengths has done for us,
Yeah.
but we just wanted to give you a little tip of the iceberg and
Hmm.
why we go to all this trouble
Right.
because we feel it's important for everybody to know this
Yeah.
and to
We want
feel,
everyone to have what we have,
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like you just want to share. It's like you have this revelation and a
Mhm.
new language that's it's
Yes,
not like, it's still English, but it's just a way to describe who you are and explain yourself to other people and explain yourself to yourself.
you're exactly right. It does give us a new way of articulating, I like to say, like,
Mhm.
so we can clearly express who we are to others
Mhm.
in a way that they can understand.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it is a whole new way of talking. I love that.
Hmm.
So thank you for sharing. I'm going to go ahead and open up
Okay.
today's
Yeah, I'm
report
excited.
and let me move it. I don't know what what you can see, but I don't know if it's big
Can't see.
enough.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. That's bigger. And
Okay,
I'm fine, but if someone's looking maybe on a phone,
okay,
that bigger might be better.
let me
There
go
you go.
about like that. Okay,
Go back just a hair because we can't see number 34.
just a oh yeah,
There we
there
go.
we go.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So this
Whoa.
is all based on the Clifton Strength
Yes.
Assessment, the
Mm-hmm.
half-hour assessment.
Mm-hmm.
You take it with no interruptions. You can't really stop and start it. So
Mm-hmm.
you take it, sit there, take it. It spews out a tremendous amount of information,
Yes.
various reports. This is one page of the 34 report is
Mm-hmm.
label that it's given. And there's so much more behind this, multiple pages that talks about every single strength and gives you suggestions and how to use it. Lots of data.
Mm-hmm.
Linda and I help interpret that data. We've got a simple process, simple ways of looking at these strengths, and we're able to present them in a really manageable, clear way. So that's the advantage of having a third person like me or Linda to
Mm-hmm.
help you with your report. You do have to pay Gallup or Clifton. CliftonStrengths, Gallup Strengths Finder, they're one and the same thing. But
Yeah.
you go to the Gallup website and you do have to pay them. So there is an investment in that assessment so
Mm-hmm.
they can use all of their software technology, to pull these results together. But they are pretty, I would have to say, 99% of the time spot on. And I only hesitate with that 1% because some people don't resonate with certain strengths every once in a while. Like they don't see them in themselves. And
Right.
it's not until they sit with them
Right.
and think about it and have other people tell them, oh, yeah, no, that is you. Then they start to really embrace some of those strengths. But that's why I kind of just said 99%.
Yeah.
Because some people, there's a little hesitation on a few of them, but
Mm.
once they dig into them deeper, then they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And
So
I
that's,
think sometimes what the assessment picks up is that this is kind of the raw, innate part of you that you maybe not have not had life experience yet that kind of proves that to you.
mm-hmm,
So sometimes people are a little bit like, yeah, I'm not so sure about, like, let's use this for example, about learner. I don't really like to read, but but it's saying I have learner high. Well, my one son has learner high, but he listens to audiobooks and TikTok
Mm.
videos. So, he has an attention span issue. But he's his input is number five. So, sometimes it's how they interpret it, or someone
Mhm.
just hasn't had life experience in that area yet.
So it sounds like he has an audio way of learning.
Yes, he
Not every
absolutely does.
learning is
Yeah.
through reading
Right. Right.
words and bringing that in that way. So he
Hmm.
uses other senses to learn.
Hmm.
So he may have dismissed this learner at first,
Yeah.
but once it was explained to him and he
Hmm.
saw what was happening, then typically people will embrace it then.
Hmm.
But these strengths come so easily and so naturally, we
Hmm.
don't think of them as anything special,
Yeah, that's true too.
but they are. And just because they're easy, they come easily to us in particular, doesn't mean there's not power behind them.
Hmm.
So,
It's funny you say that. I have connectedness at number two, just like this person does. And that's one that I like. It's like I get it. I kind of understand it, but my sort of goal next year is to really research my connectedness and what it means for me, because I
mm,
just sometimes I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure what it
mm,
means for me personally as a strength, how it lives out in my life. And, yeah, I know God has everything in control, but, how is connectedness a strength? So,
interesting. We may
yeah,
have
so
to
I,
talk
I
about
really want
that.
to research that.
Yes, we may have to have a discussion about that privately. That is,
Yeah, sounds
or
good.
maybe on a live like this,
Yeah, we
and
could do
talk about
that.
it because I have it as up high as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so right there is a perfect example of some people not really resonating with particular
Mhm,
strengths. And they really
mhm.
have to just look at it, like you said, find evidence in their lives and where it's
Right.
popping up. And
Hmm.
sometimes these strengths are some of them might be pushed to the back.
Hmm.
And if we bring them forward and really give them some attention and some love, then they will
Hmm.
blossom into something that is real obvious to
Right.
us.
Right. Good
Um,
point.
yeah, so that would be an interesting discussion. We may have to do that. Get a couple connectedness people on,
Yeah. Yeah, that
how
would
it
be
shows
fun.
up on every. Oh, that is a good idea. I love that.
Yeah.
But everybody, even though Linda and I both have connectedness, we both have learner,
Yeah.
we both have input high, they
Hmm.
still play out differently and they're
Absolutely.
in different positions in our report
Hmm.
depending on what strengths are next to them or if they're in between two particular ones, they play out differently because of that interaction between the strengths.
Right.
So even though we do tease them out individually, most of the time they're interacting with other strengths and
Hmm.
that's how they're showing themselves. And maybe that's what's happening with your connectedness.
Yeah.
It's interacting and coming out through other strengths, and you're
Hmm.
just not noticing that it is a strength by itself that is
Yeah.
there,
Right.
maybe in the background or something. But so with that being said, great discussion. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We focus on the top 10. Those are our zone of genius, is
Hmm.
what I like to call it. That's where we're the most energized, the most productive, the most creative. Our most authentic self is when we're operating and using these strengths for whatever we want to use them to live our lives. The bottom five, we do not say they're weaknesses. They're
Right.
just at the bottom. They don't serve us in any way. There's um, no energy that is helping us. If anything, it might be de-energizing to
Mhm.
us if we happen to be playing out in those bottom ones. So sometimes it's just good to know the bottom ones so we can let go of them and
Right.
not be concerned about them and not worry about them because everything we do and need to do, we could do with these top 10.
And we have like a little uh Gallup has this little handout that you can find anywhere. Just Google Clifton Strengths balconies and basements,
Mhm.
and you'll be able to find it. So each strength has a balcony, like when it's in its prime, when you're really living in that zone of genius, and each strength has a basement, which is, sort of the negative side of the coin,
Mhm.
where if you're in the basement of that strength, then you can be kind of awkward and a pain in the behind to everyone around you. And I say that to say we think when we dip into our bottom strengths that we're going to live in the balcony of our bottom strengths, but we can't. Because there are bottom strengths, they are the basement for us. So when we dip into those, unless it's just very briefly down there, grab it for a minute, and then go back to your zone of genius. But for the most part, you are going to be in the basement of your bottom strengths if you try to dip into them. So, for deliberative, like that's someone who looks at all the obstacles. This person, if they try to think about what could go wrong, they're just going to be in a negative spiral and, kind of raining on
Stressed.
everybody's
They're
parade.
going to
What's
be
that?
stressed.
Stressed,
Yep, yep,
absolutely, like anxious, the whole
yep.
nine yards. So, they think that, okay, if I can just look at all the things that could go wrong, they probably would end up doing nothing. They'd be paralyzed by all
Yeah,
that.
good point. Like this person has competition down there in the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
This person probably wants nothing to do with
Mm-hmm.
being a winner of a contest, or
Right,
if they're in a game, they don't care whether they win or not. They're just
right.
there for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
So competition is not something that drives them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no energy there for them.
Right, right.
And just knowing that, they can maybe rest easily, like, "Oh, thank
Yeah,
God, I don't have to worry
yeah,
about that."
yeah, right.
And then these middle strengths,
Hmm.
we never even look at them. They're like just like
Yeah.
neutral, like there's no energy whatsoever. We can do everything here
Hmm.
from something in our top 10, whether
Yeah.
it be one strength or a combination of strength. That's the strength. So if you look at this middle and you're like, oh, I wish I had communication higher, maybe,
Yeah.
you think that's helping you communicate with others. No, no.
Hmm.
This person can do everything she wants to do,
Hmm.
her bucket of 10.
Hmm.
And we emphasize the top 10, but 11, 12, 13, we do pull from those as well. So there's some, they pop up now and again, or frequently, but we generally just focus on that top 10. But just know that 11, 12, and 13 have some influence as well and some energy for
Yeah.
us. So
Yep.
let's go ahead, and their time remaining, which
Yeah, I know.
but we gave out good information. I'm
We
glad
did.
that we talked about that. So we won't have a lot of time to get into this. We may go a few minutes over, but so this person is a high relationship builder.
Yes.
So all we do is we count up the relationship building colors. We'll say relationship building is blue. These are the four categories that every strength can be placed in, and we just count them up. So this person has one, two, three, four right at the very top.
Very strong.
Top relationship building strengths. She actually has a fifth one right here. So that's five in the relationship building bucket. So that means relationships are very, very, very important to her, because
Hmm.
anything over three is important. But when you have anything more than three, the importance of people in this particular case is even more amplified.
Yeah.
So this person is
Yeah.
very, very people oriented.
Hmm.
People, keep her going. They energize her. And if she's not around people on a regular basis, I'm guessing her energy level just starts to go down and dwindle, might
Yeah.
even go into a depressive type of an energy.
Hmm.
And, it's just not a good place for her to be. So she's
Right.
got to know herself enough to realize, oh, I got to get around some people.
Mm-hmm.
to get that energy back up.
Mm-hmm.
And a relationship builder likes the right people to be around. They can't
Yes.
just be, and they could be anybody, but
Yeah.
for to really be at her best, she wants to be surrounded and connecting in with the right people.
I would say with woo at number 8, this person definitely needs to have interactions with people, needs in groups of people where she can, just kind of go in and break the ice and
Mhm.
charm the group and
Yes.
sort of be the life of the party. Like, it's that would be really important to her to be able to have interaction with people.
Hmm. So she could go into a group setting, a group environment, and just enjoy the energy of that. But
Mhm.
with that woo sitting there, like, oh no, she's going to go talk to somebody.
Right.
She's going to interact with somebody somehow.
She's going to make new friends because
Exactly,
strangers are
exactly,
just friends I haven't met yet, according to Woo.
exactly. And woo stands for winning others
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
So that's the
Good to
WOO.
explain that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then with positivity sitting there at number 4, she's going to be an uplifter for anybody she interacts with. She's just going to bring a fun, pleasant, um, cheerful energy to whatever relationship or interaction she's wooing with,
Yeah.
whoever she's wooing with.
Right.
And the cool thing is that adaptability, she's going to be able to go with the flow, whatever's happening in the moment.
Mm,
She can adapt to it. She's very
right.
flexible. So
Right.
within this environment where she's wooing people,
Mm-hmm.
they decide to pivot and
Mm-hmm.
go to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
let's go. So she can
Right.
just make decisions based on what's happening in the moment and just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That this probably seems like a fun person to be around. Like
Hmm.
I don't have woo high, but I one of my best friends has woo like at number 3. And I love being around her. I love her energy and well, my mom, I know she had woo very high. And so it's just like that just reminds me of my mom. Like she's just so personable, never met a stranger. It's
Hmm.
embarrassing when I was growing up, but now I
Yes,
really appreciate it. And
yep.
it's like, oh, those are fun people to be around.
You mentioned your mom. I think my mom had woo up there too somewhere.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the same, like you said, never met a stranger she didn't make a friend. Like
yes,
I remember
yeah.
going in this little dinky store one time when we were on a road trip, and me and my dad were sitting in the car. And like an hour goes by and she's still in there. And she comes out, oh, I just met blah, blah, blah. And she's telling us about this woman and oh, we're best friends now. She was in there wooing this person that was a total stranger
Did
when
she
she
ever have
walked in.
contact with that person again?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, she might have, I don't know, but
Yeah, right.
she was like, they were like this when she came out of there.
Right.
And
Well,
that's
yeah,
definitely a
after an
woo
hour,
person.
that's a long relationship
Well,
for
it,
someone with woo.
it seemed like an hour. Maybe it
Yeah,
wasn't an hour,
right.
but
I
we're
know.
like, do we have to go in and get her? Did something happen to her?
Right.
And I remember walking around, like let's say a vendor event or a craft show. Oh yeah, she's talking to everybody
Yes.
at their booths, and we would like, oh come on, come on, and she's just taking her time,
Right.
enjoying all of the
All the people.
interactions,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
is a high woo person.
Yeah, definitely.
They absolutely love that.
Yeah, this person with activator at 7 and adaptability at 10, they are spur of the moment, man.
And going, yes, taking
Yeah,
action, yes, for
yeah.
sure. A person who moves passionately, who
Hmm.
can be seen as impatient. Like, if we're going to do
Yeah,
something, let's go. Like, what are we
yeah,
waiting for? Let's just
yeah,
do it.
yeah,
Yeah, and possibly a fast talker, and
yeah. Could be. Yeah. And how
but
about the like futuristic at 5? We talk about. the importance of like the number five strength. If you
Mm-hmm.
know
Yeah.
the top 10 are the zone of genius, and that number five is kind of like the I call it like the fulcrum, it's like the centerpiece of your strengths.
Love that.
So, futuristic is what it sounds like. Like you are excited about the future. And for this person, the future could be 5 minutes from now, it could be 10 years from now. But someone who is not only excited about the future for themselves, but they also get other people on board
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with their vision of the future.
Yeah.
And
And
sometimes they can't understand why other people aren't as excited about their future dreams, their big
mhm.
dreams as what they are. So you kind of have to temper that, but
Which is interesting because, yes, futuristic is future oriented,
mhm,
looking at and it's usually a positive vision for the future. But
yeah,
an adaptability is in the now, it's in the
yes,
present moment.
yeah,
And she has both of them up here in the top 10,
yeah,
which I find really, really interesting. So, yes, she can really be flexible in the moment. She's fully present in that moment in time, but yet
right.
she holds that futuristic
Mhm.
version of, I'm almost thinking like taking this beautiful now movement or moment and
Yeah,
moving it into the future.
yeah, let's keep
Create
it
this,
going.
yeah, yeah,
How can we make sure that we have more of this, and let's do something about it.
yeah, yeah. Love
Activator.
that.
Yeah,
That just came to me right in this
yeah,
moment.
that's really neat.
Yeah, that is very cool. And she has developer at number one. We're going
Yeah,
to mention number one is the highest energy for
yeah.
her. Number five is an important one as well. So they kind of diminish in energy a little bit as they go down
Hmm.
to number 10. So number one, developer is of highest energy for her. She could be seen as a cheerleader, a person who loves to encourage others as they
Right.
move towards that beautiful future.
Yeah.
And
Right.
she can see the improvement
Uh-huh.
that they might not see in themselves. Like they
Right.
might get down on themselves. I'm just thinking of an example. And like, oh, that's never gonna work. And she'd be swooping in, like, no, look what you've done. Look what you've
Yeah.
learned. Look how far you've
Right.
come
Like, are
and
you?
look at where you're going. So she could
Uh-huh.
easily point that out to any person who's in front of her
Right.
who
Right.
may not see it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she
That's
can.
such a great number one strength.
Yeah, definitely a great friend to have. She
Yeah.
has belief sitting at number nine.
Yeah. I was looking at
It
that
would be
too.
a great conversation with her to see how belief plays out for her
Right.
with
Because
all of this.
beliefs revolve around each person's core values, that they are committed to a set of core values, and they they need to be positive ones, not the core value of murdering people or selfishness, like positive core values, healthy ones, I guess I should say.
Yeah, that's a
So,
good word.
what are her core values? And they're probably all filtered through her other strengths, but it would be neat to ask her, like, that's kind of how she gets things done, by focusing on
Hmm.
those core values, and probably the value of other people, and relating to them, encouraging them, the value of the future. uh,
Yeah, yeah, good point.
Probably all would be strong beliefs for her.
I love all that. And anybody with belief, in my opinion,
Mhm.
in that top 10, it's a powerful strength. Even if
Yeah,
it's not in the top 10, if it's in 11 or 12 position, it's still a big influencer. But a person of high belief really needs to get clear or have a general
yeah,
understanding or an overview of what are their beliefs? What do they believe in? What are those core values?
right.
It's,
Mhm.
I just think it's of utmost importance. And if
Right.
you don't know, then try to get some clarity on it,
Yeah,
journal about it.
yeah.
What is it that you really truly believe in and you're not going to waver because of
Hmm.
that belief strength?
Hmm. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
And then
that's
that way you can tell other people so they understand why you're so committed to
Yeah,
certain
right.
core values that you just won't budge on.
Right. So another a good communication tool is to be able to say, well, I think it this way because of this particular belief. And that's, really strong for me. So again, just another way of communicating what you're all about to another person.
Yeah.
And I know we're out of time. We're over a
Yeah,
little bit.
I
And I
know.
I wanted to mention how her energetics are. And I'm only going to mention this for 1 minute, and maybe another time we'll talk about somebody else's. But Linda and I are both learning about energetic strengths.
Right,
So
right.
this particular person has 9 energetic strengths
Wow.
out of her top 10. So this person's energy is of utmost importance to her. And
Yeah.
she has to be in charge of and manage her own energy. And to have other people interfere with that is going to be detrimental to this person. So
Mm-hmm.
it's of utmost important that she know her boundaries and she puts herself in the best places possible and relate with the best people possible. So her energy is bright and high and, a beautiful thing to behold. And if she's not aware of that, she might put herself, or anybody
Yeah,
like her could
yeah.
be in a position where they just think something's off, like something's not right. And it could be because their energy
Mm-hmm.
is being compromised, like if they're in a job that they're not happy in. Maybe that energetic boundary is being stepped into, or
Right,
it's
yeah.
being aggravated in some way. So
Right.
just this whole concept of knowing where you're at on the energy scale in with how many strengths fall into that energetic realm is just so fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it just has to be right. So this person, when she gets up in the morning, has hopefully a really good morning ritual to create that really beautiful, positive energy for herself to
Right.
carry her throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And that may be too much for some people, but I did want to throw that in there just because I
Yeah.
think it's so fun.
That was free of charge.
Free of charge. Yes, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
like all the rest of what we said today. But whoever watches this, you received about a good $200 worth of
you,
coaching
you certainly did.
between the two of us
But
for free.
we do this so that you can see the power
Yeah,
of this knowledge.
yeah.
It's hard for us sometimes to explain to people who don't see it from the inside like we do. So we
Mm-hmm.
just want to give you and the world an inside peek of what we love to do for people. So
Yeah.
hopefully you can see the power of it working for you.
Mm-hmm.
So Linda and I are both coaches. We
Right.
use this process. We use the CliftonStrengths assessment as our tool. And
Right.
once we have this report in front of us, man, you could see how we could just go off and really shine a light on
Yeah.
your own superpowers so you
Yeah.
can get clarity on what they are and how you can leverage them in
Mm-hmm.
any area of your life. So
Mm-hmm.
feel free
Absolutely.
to leave a comment, reach out to either of us, and we would love to help you
Yeah, we
tap
would.
into and decode your superpowers.
Yeah, sounds good.
So thank you so much, Linda. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much to
you,
everybody
Teresa.
who's watching.
Yeah.
And reach out to us if you
Yeah.
have a report,
Yeah.
just just in case you have one and
Yeah.
you would like for us to do it in this setting,
Yeah.
send it over to us and we will love to banter about it and decode
Yeah.
it for you. Like you said, $200 worth of coaching for free right here.
Right?
Okay, my friends, thank you so much. Till next
Bye,
time.
everyone.
Bye-bye.